How's it going, everybody? I'm joined here with Mike Sawyer, the owner of Winter Springs UFC Gym. I've known Mike for, I think, gosh, it's got to be close to 10 years, I think, Mike, is when I first moved down here. I think it was 2013. I'm pretty sure it
Well,
was. I
it
think.
was before that, but we met up in AC.
Well, yeah, so I
Uh,
knew you before. Yeah, that's true. I knew you before that even. So I've known you over 10 years, but we got to be a lot closer when I actually moved down to
yep.
Florida. It was about 10 years ago. I think it was like March of 2013. But anyway, got a really cool reason why he's on the show today. This is in this corner of weighing in with Travis Hartman. Mike is promoting amateur boxing matches at Lake Howell High School Heavyweight Championship May 6th at 2 p.m. USA Boxing sanctioned fights. I know, Mike, that I've been following along quite a bit because we're friends. I've been following along. You kind of started like a high school boxing program at your gym, right?
Yeah, bingo. And whereas we have kids from, Haggerty, Winter Springs High School, Oviedo, all over, uh, Lake Howell High School's walking distance from my gym. So, I show up to open the gym at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I got about 12 knuckleheads waiting for me outside. So it's been a great thing.
Yeah.
Never get tired of teaching these kids, man.
Yeah, and I know that me and you both share that huge passion and love of boxing, even though you own a UFC gym. And you guys are still boxing related there. It used to be LA boxing a long time ago. But I know that you're a professional boxer yourself, so we both share that love of straight up boxing, of MMA too, but we love boxing first and foremost, right?
I mean, it's the greatest sport ever, and I'm developing. There's nothing like boxing, nothing like boxing, and I say that as an MMA fan. And bare knuckle, I got to tell you, is nipping at the heels of boxing as far as being my favorite. Uh, they don't get to punch as murderously hard as they do in boxing because they'll hurt their hands.
Or break them,
So
yeah.
it's almost like a basketball game where people can't dunk. Everybody likes the knockouts,
Yeah.
but everybody likes to see the dunks. But at the same time, there's an equal, maybe even greater skill in a basketball game where you can't dunk. People are. It's a little
The
different. It's
finesse,
the
yeah.
same. You see my comparison though, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like with bare knuckle boxing, they have to be more tactical because they can't throw a bomb and they'll bust
Yeah.
their hands up.
Yeah, I mean, you got a lot of bone on bone contact. I mean, you see a lot
Yeah,
of these guys getting cut like right away. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, you see these guys getting more beat up than actually like highlight reel type of knockouts. You're not wrong there. I didn't even think of it like that, really. I've only watched two, and I've told Mike Perry this. I watched the first one when he fought Michael Venom Page over there in England, and then I watched the one this Saturday when he beat Luke Rockhold. But I'm gonna be honest with you though, Mike. It's not my favorite. And I told Mike Perry, I was like, the only reason I watch because I'm supporting you, brother.
Yeah,
It's brutal. It's just
yeah,
brutal. Like
yeah. They get mashed up, man.
oh man,
It's
it's
fun though. Nothing like the sweet science. Nothing at all like
agreed,
boxing.
a
You
hundred
know,
percent.
we feel the same way about that.
So that's where I think that it's pretty cool that I have an amateur boxer that I train that's going to fight on your card. So that's why I like that what you're doing is because even though we're professional boxers, man, you have to give back to the younger crowd because at the amateur ranks is where they earn their stripes to turn pro later. And I love that you're doing that there at the program now. You have a guy, is it one of your guys that's fighting in the main event for the heavyweight championship?
Yeah. So I'll land the plane quickly, but I'll tell you the story very quickly.
Okay.
So we got this kid. I mean, and it's not PC to say this, but when he joined the gym, he was literally a fat kid, 9 years old, short. He had a bowl haircut. It was, he stood, I'll never forget, it was like yesterday. He stood at my front desk and said, I'm going to be the boxing heavyweight champion of the world. And his dad's there, and his dad's kind of shrugging his shoulders. He said, man, I watched the NFL, and NASCAR, but this kid, he wants to be a boxer. So,
Yeah.
I'm here to support him. All right.
That's
Well,
awesome, Dad.
yeah, and his dad's his biggest fan. You already know.
Yeah.
Uh, the let me see. The 9 years later, he's 6'5", 190 pounds, ain't got any fat on him, punches like a mule. He's knocking out grown men. So the story on this fight, and I got a belt for it and everything, is
Yeah.
Carl's a quiet guy, very unassuming, kind of shy, very nobody in his high school knows him. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Not that he's a geek or unpopular or anything, but he's not an athlete. The only thing he does is box. Well, guess what? Nobody knows about boxing in high school. It's not a high school sport.
Yeah. Right.
So exactly, he was supposed to fight this badass kid, Danny, that is like the school jock, letterman in like three sports, unbelievable athlete,
Yeah.
very well known, popular kid. Anyway, uh, he was supposed to be in there training for 2 months. He didn't get to start his camp until a little bit late, and so he pulled out of the fight with good reasons. He's like,
Yeah.
I
It's
just don't
fair.
feel, you know what I mean? Uh, I just don't feel like I'm ready to compete against this guy because he's been boxing for so long.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So, but I had already invested, bought the belt, Lake Howell Heavyweight Championship. So anyway, we had to find an opponent for him. Well, this kid from Toussaint Boxing Gym in Apopka stepped in, and it's kind of become a little rivalry now. The kid from
Yeah.
Apopka is like, bump Lake Howell. I'm coming to take your heavyweight belt. And I love it. I love it.
Yeah. That's
it,
awesome.
it and I talked to his coach about it. His coach Lou is a buddy of mine. And Lou's like, man, this is the nicest kid in the universe. Whenever he's not, boxing, he's smiling. He's a great
Yeah.
kid. Carl's the same way. But they got this little Lake Howell versus a pop rivalry. So I expect some real sparks to fly. His coach said he's a special fighter. And I know Carl is a gifted special fighter. And
Yeah.
that's Pat Washington's baby.
Yeah.
Pat don't lucky if Pat lets him talk to anyone when we're at the fights, man.
I love something you brought up too, and this is what I love is that I'm the same. I'm very unassuming. If somebody saw me in the streets, they think I'm a computer programmer. Like I've literally got that. I wear glasses, and like they're like, this guy's not a boxer. But that's what I love about boxing. I think that's why I love teaching as well as you do. Same things because we teach these kids this discipline and all this stuff, and they don't have to go out there and act tough and get in fights
Yeah,
and cause problems. I think a well-trained boxer is one of the least likely ones to go get in a fight. I think it's better.
absolutely.
I would love if they actually got boxing in high schools because I think it's good. If a kid gets in that ring, he knows the damage he can do. Therefore, it limits those kids from knowing they're like, hey, I know some damage can get done to me and I can do damage. I don't want to do that unless I have to. And I love that about boxing. And I think that's where me and you share that love too, is that disciplined kids are good kids.
Absolutely. And here's the thing. When a guy knows that he can fight, and take it from a kid who'd probably been in 50, 60 fights, before I got out of high school.
Yeah.
I was always fighting because wasn't sure if I could beat someone up. I wasn't sure. It's the kids that have the question in their mind that get in a lot of fights.
You're trying to prove something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, there's a funny thing. I was never a bully, nor was I ever bullied. I was neither of my high school experience doesn't fit either one of those descriptions.
Yeah.
But what's funny is whether a kid is a little bit on the bully side or whether a kid is a little bit on the bullied side, once he learns a combat discipline sport, he has no interest in fighting anymore. Something changes in his body language and his demeanor where kids don't test him. If he's a kid that used to be bullied, something changes about his aura. Kids don't mess with him anymore. And if he is, kind of a bully, the thing is, he's got a much bigger challenge. He needs to prove himself in a boxing gym. More so than proving he can beat up the kid sitting in the desk next to him in school. So I've always found that kids' behavior improves when they find the sport of boxing.
Yeah, I agree with you. I started training this 9-year-old out here in Lake Nona, and he was bullied at school. And the mom brought him to me. He was like, "Hey, do you think you can help him?" I was like, "You know what? The only thing I can help him with is his confidence. I can help him with confidence. I don't want these kids beating other kids up either, So I trained him for like 6 months, and He never had to get in a fight though, Mike. His demeanor and his confidence
Yeah,
changed. The kid stopped bullying him, not because he got in a fight with him, because he started carrying himself different. And the mom was even
sure.
like, she was like, his confidence, Travis, he used to walk with his head down and all like just dejected. And now he just kind of walks like a normal kid, head up. And he's like, the kids don't mess with him anymore. And I was like,
Sure.
that's boxing. It gives you that confidence to know that you're a normal kid. You deserve to be a normal kid. And that's what I love about it is that the kid didn't actually even have to fight to make other kids to leave him alone. They felt that confidence and that aura from the kid and they left him alone. I love that about boxing.
Amen. You know, I tell you, and again, as somebody who's no stranger to, altercations, the guy that is being messed with always fights a little bit harder than the guy that is doing the messing with.
Yeah.
And once that sort of switch changes, when a kid knows that he can take care of himself and he becomes more confident, his aura changes. A would-be bully, he don't want no hard fight. He doesn't
No.
want to fight where he
He's
doesn't want a
picking the
hard
weak
fight.
one out of the herd.
Exactly. And when he senses that a kid knows something that he doesn't know, like, wait a minute, this kid's acting a little bit differently. This might not be an easy win for me.
Yep.
A lot of times they just move along.
Yep.
You
So
love to see.
that's awesome. And that's why I love what you're doing and you're putting on this show. This is your first amateur show that you've put on? No, you've put on others before. That's right. You've done this for a little bit, haven't you?
Well, to be honest, this is the first time since I think right around the time you were here, we did a fight at the gym.
Yeah.
And we had recently rebranded the UFC Gym. You were here for that whole thing.
Yeah.
For that whole transition. And UFC Gym shut it down right away.
Oh,
I think we did the fight Saturday night. It might have been Monday that I had a certified letter from UFC Gym corporate being like, "Don't do that shit again." Or
never again.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you are doing it again because a lot of these kids get a chance to compete. And now a lot of these kids have been training for a while. And now they actually get a chance to put that training into motion by fighting in an actual real USA boxing sanctioned fight, which is so cool.
You imagine if somebody had done this for you when you were in high school, being able to be like, "Yo, guys, I'm gonna fight someone in our gymnasium this Saturday. Come watch."
So cool. It would have been amazing.
It would have been amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to bless these kids with that. They work hard, they train hard. We got great kids here. You know what? And all the other kids that are fighting are great kids too.
Yeah.
Anybody that gets up and competes, live, fights against another person, is worthy of respect.
Yeah, steps in that ring, man.
Yeah, I'm really excited, and I think it's going to be a great event. I'm going to learn something. You already know I'm going to be bouncing things off of you. I already have been. You're more experienced than me at putting on the shows.
Oh, man, I put on a couple amateur shows. I also put on 3 pro shows. And it's a lot for sure. But can you let everybody know where they can buy tickets? There's a website. I know that you have your own website now for the tickets and they can get it at the door as well.
Yeah, thank you for the plug. You can always call UFC Gym Winter Springs, but the website is MikeSawyerPromotions.com. Very easy. Tickets are cheap. They're $20.
Yep. We'll put a link in the bottom of this video as well so people can catch that as well. But I highly recommend everybody come out and see him, and you're going to see a lot of guys that you have younger kids as well, all the way up to older kids. I even saw that you're possibly trying to match a Masters division, which I think is awesome, which the Masters is like the older guys.
Good old Dorian at Elite Boxing and Fitness up the street. I'm plugging another gym. I don't care. I'll plug Dorian all day.
Good.
He's got a guy over there. It's 50 years old. Man, he moves like a guy that's much, much younger, shall we say. But yeah, I hope we can make that match. I'd love to let him fight in front of his family and friends here.
That looks cool, man. All right, brother. So it's Lake Howell High School, May 6th, this Saturday at 2 p.m. for the heavyweight championship. Plus, there's going to be other amateur fights, obviously. It's going to be a good event. I think everybody should go. MikeSawyerPromotions.com. You can buy tickets or show up to Lake Howell High School. You can buy the tickets right there at the door as well. Get them ahead of time if you can. But, worst case, you can always show up there, and hopefully there'll be tickets available. But, Mike, so I've been doing this in this corner. I have this thing. I'll do a 35-second clock. clock we'll put up here. But I'm going to ask you 6 questions. And the point of this, you're on the hot seat. The point of this is I don't want you to think. I want your first reaction. All right. They're boxing related as well.
The point of this is to do better than Jova or Adrian. Let's not kid ourselves. That's the point. Ready.
All right. So I'll give you a multiple choice on the first 5, and the last one is just your own. So here we go. All right. We're going to start it. Let me get this clock. All right. Are you ready?
You ready?
All right. Number 1. Out of these 2 rappers, who's the best? Kanye West or Jay-Z?
Jay-Z.
Out of these 2 fighters, who's the pound for pound best right now? Terrence Crawford or Canelo?
Terrence Crawford.
Who's the most overrated heavyweight of these 2? Ali or Tyson?
Tyson.
What is the better of these 2 foods? Pizza or tacos?
Tacos.
Jake Paul or Logan Paul?
Jake Paul.
Gotcha. Okay, this last one. Who is your current favorite athlete in general right now?
I got Mike Perry.
I love it. That was a good answer. In my head, I was like, this is perfect for that. And that's a good one, man. I appreciate it, man. Hopefully we'll have a clock up there. We'll try to get this out the next couple of days. But this is Mike Sawyer, owner of UFC Gym Winter Springs. He's also the promoter of Lake Howell High School Heavyweight Championship, May 6th, 2 p.m. Get your butts out there. This is local boxing in Orlando, Florida.